Joining us to discuss preparations and the security situation for this week is Party Chair Reince Priebus. And Mr. Chairman, welcome back to Fox News Sunday.
Thanks for having me, Chris.
We have seen big protests and even violence at a number of Trump rallies this year. Are you ready for that here in Cleveland this week?
Well, we're ready for it. I mean, every convention has its share of problems and protests, and obviously this has been a pretty politically charged environment over the last year, and so we've taken extra precautions. We've got $50 million in federal security. We've got thousands of cops coming in from around the country. We've got Secret Service in full force, and we're ready for anything, and I can assure you that the city's going to be safe, and it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's beautiful outside, too.
Yes, I have to say it is beautiful, and it's a great town. But security was already very tight for this convention. Has the terrible ambush of police in Dallas, has the terror attack in Nice, has that changed your plans and made you make security even tighter? And at this moment, is there a credible security threat against this convention?
No, I mean, that's not what I'm hearing. That's not what the police are talking about. I think people are feeling pretty comfortable right now with what's happening. We're also in a very good position here on the lake. So when you think about a secured perimeter around where we're at downtown on the lake with the river buttressing the other side, it lends itself to a good place to lock in and secure.
Friday, the Democrats sent out a full schedule for their convention, who the speakers are going to be, what the themes are going to be, and this doesn't even start until a week from tomorrow.
Right.
Your convention starts tomorrow, and there still seem to be some questions up in the air. For instance, do you know who the keynote speaker is going to be?
I do, but I'm not at liberty to reveal it. The campaign today, I think it's at 4 o'clock, and some of the folks at the convention are going to brief the press on the schedule.
And, well, I mean, why is it seem so disorganized? As I say, Philadelphia and the Dems are already set.
It's not disorganized. I think it's just different. And I think if you look at this hall and how beautiful it is, people weren't sure about whether we were going to be ready. And sure enough, people
Let me incidentally, on the fly, if we can take a shot of the hall, it is one of the most spectacular convention halls I've ever seen in that stage, which looks like the bridge on the USS Starship.
I mean, it is unbelievable in here, and that's what everyone's saying. They're coming into the queue, and they expected things to be disorganized, and actually they looked around and said, this is an amazing thing. And so I can just assure you that Donald Trump and his campaign know how to put on a show. They're going to do it. We'll have plenty of politicians, but we'll have plenty of other things happening. I think people are going to be pretty impressed. And the biggest thing is, and you alluded to it earlier, it's Thursday night. It's Donald Trump giving that speech, the balloons coming down, and people saying, I can see him in the White House. It's what Reagan needed to overcome in 1979, and when he did, the bottom fell out of Jimmy Carter. I think we're in the same place.
We also hear that the party is $6 million in the hole for the financing of this convention, and that you and other party officials have made a last-minute appeal to billionaire and casino owner Sheldon Adelson to come up with the money. Has he?
You know, I haven't. So I will keep it short because I know you like short answers, but let me just tell you what the story is. The party, the RNC, is in full max. We raised $14.5 million in because you may know the convention money was taken away from the parties. We're at 14.5. We're maxed. Our piece is in. The campaign is in. The host committee here has soft money that they need to raise for other things, and they're getting that all together now. It is not unusual for a few $1 million to come in at the end on the host committee side. In fact, they're far ahead of where we were in Tampa and St. Paul. So Cleveland's done a great job. There is no problem.
Okay. After Mitt Romney's defeat in 2012, you commissioned what was called a postmortem to try to figure out how you prevent that from happening again. And the bottom line was that you said, and the postmortem said, you got to be able to reach out to more of America. You got to be able to reach out to women. You got to be able to reach out to young people. You got to be able to reach out to minorities. Given his very conservative views on social issues, does Mike Pence help you with that?
Well, I think he does because he shores up another part of our party. I mean, I think, you know...
I understand the social conservative base, but does he help you with that, with the socially moderate or even liberal voters?
Well, I think Donald Trump and Pence are somewhere in the middle of each other. So I think bringing Pence on board ends up shoring up a piece that Donald Trump needed to shore up. But what our autopsy was about was being a full-time party in Hispanic, Black, Asian African communities, which we've done. We've got a bigger party than we've ever had. We've got over 500 full-time staffers and a full-time presence in Black and Hispanic communities. And I know Donald Trump's going to be doing a Hispanic engagement tour coming up soon. He is going to be talking about those issues. He understands we need to grow the party. It's the party of the open door, tone, rhetoric, spirit, all of those things matter when communicating to the American people.
I understand the point about reaching out to voters, but I want to show you some numbers of recent polls. Among voters under 35, young people, Clinton leads Trump 41% to 34%. Among women, she leads 51% to 32%. And among blacks, Clinton leads 87% to 3%. Also a big number, a big advantage for her among Hispanics. According to your own postmortem about appealing to new voters, you can't win with numbers like that.
Well, that's true, but we also have a long way to go, and we have to improve those numbers, and we're planning on doing that. But what we've set up is an infrastructure through the Republican National Committee for that to have happen, and I know that Donald Trump is committed to making that happen. There's other polls that show Trump at 12% with black voters and doing just as well or better than Mitt Romney in Hispanic communities. Now, we need to do better than Mitt Romney did in Hispanic communities. But look, if Trump's at 12% in the black community, Mitt was at about 4%. If we were only at 9 or 10%
in the latest
well,
poll.
That's that one poll, and I understand. I'm not quarreling that, but there are many other polls that show something different. But bottom line, we have to do better. Donald Trump understands that, is willing to reach out and do better, and we've set up a system to make that happen.
With the selection of Mike Pence, the thinking now is that Trump and the party are going to pursue a Rust Belt strategy in this campaign to try to win the White House by taking states like, here on the map, Pennsylvania and Michigan and Ohio and Wisconsin. Is that now the path to 270, to the majority?
Well, I think it's obviously an important piece of the path. I mean, Ohio, it starts here in Ohio. That's why a big reason we're here in Cleveland. I think he does very well in Pennsylvania, especially western Pennsylvania. And I think it is a big part of the strategy. And I think that Donald Trump and Pence together can be very effective at executing that strategy.
But let me just pick up on that, because 3 of those 4 states, Pennsylvania and Michigan and Wisconsin, have not voted for a Republican. Look at the map there. They are solid blue. They have not voted for a Republican since at least 1988. One of them since 84. That's 6 straight elections.
Well, the button-down approach hasn't worked very well for us in our party. We've become a great midterm party, but we've not a great presidential party. Donald Trump's very different. I think you didn't mention Iowa. We've got a tie in Iowa right now, and he's doing well there. I think he's going to expand the map in some other places as well.
So that's the idea. You're going to open up the map in places that are traditionally Democratic. You think you can flip? I
think we can flip a couple places. I think doing very well in Nevada. He's actually doing well in Florida. And if you look at Iowa and add in a couple other places, I think he'll be okay.
We should just point out that we were just hearing them starting to rehearse the roll call. I have to say, you could have asked them to hold off during your appearance.
Well, right, but, you know, hey, guys.
Just briefly, we've got less than a minute left. What do you want to get out of this convention?
A couple things. One, I want to show the unification process continuing. And for me, I'm serious. I think Thursday night is a really big deal for our party. Trump delivering that consistent, measured, pointed message. The balloons drop, the band plays. Donald Trump running for president in the White House. That's where we need to be.
Chairman Priebus, thank you. Thanks for talking with us today. Good luck this week.
You bet.